Namaskar. I am Abhishek Kumar, advocate of the Allahabad High Court. Since yesterday, the electronic media is flooded with the news of the interrogation of Riya Chakravarti regarding money laundering offence in regard to the homicide case of the Sushant Singh. So I opted this topic to deliberate and to present in a simple manner so that a person belonging to non-legal background may comprehend it. May comprehend it. The Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002 was enacted in year 2002, which was assented by the President in 2003 and which was enforced in year 2005. The Prevention of Money Laundering Act states that money laundering is an offence and it is punishable. Now question arises, what is money laundering? The money laundering has been defined in section 3 of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, which says that if any person is involved directly or indirectly, knowingly, with the proceeds of the crime by way of its concealment or possession or use or showing it as untainted money, then that person would be guilty of the money laundering. The important thing of this definition is the word used therein, quote unquote, proceeds of crime. So it is clear that for money laundering offence there must be crime already has taken place, because if there is no crime already happened, then there could be no proceed of crime. So it can be said that the crime already has taken place, may be termed as a predicate crime, and if any person have earned money from the predicate crime, then that person is guilty of the money laundering. What to say of the earning of the money from the predicate crime? Even some person is involved in whatsoever manner with the proceeds of the crime, then he is also punishable under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act for the offence of money laundering. The section 4 of the said enactment speaks of the punishment. It says that if any person is found to be guilty of the money laundering, he would be punished with the rigorous imprisonment minimum for 3 years and the maximum for 7 years. It also says that under certain predicate offences, the maximum period of rigorous imprisonment may enhance up to 10 years. Now, the question arises, what are the predicate offences? The predicate offences has been mentioned in the schedule of Prevention of Money Laundering Act, and it encompasses numerous offences of IPC, NDPS Act, Foreign Exchange Regulation Act, Arms Act, etc. and etc. So there is a list of the predicate offences if that offences are already happened, and from those offences, if certain money is earned, acquired, possessed, or enjoyed, or used, or showed as untainted money, then the offence of money laundering would be found to have been committed. Now, question arises, who will investigate the offences of the money laundering? The Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2003 clearly speaks that the said offences would be investigated by an special agency, and by notification made thereunder, the Government of India has entrusted the investigation to the Enforcement Directorate. Now, what is the Enforcement Directorate? It was also relevant to know. The Enforcement Directorate was created way back in 1956 by the Government of India to deal with the investigation of the offences related with economic affairs, particularly of the Foreign Exchange Regulation Act or other enactments or related with other enactments which have the implications of the financial transactions or financial bungling. The Enforcement Directorate is a special agency, is a special department which comprises variety of officers belonging to variety of departments, like the Officers of Indian Revenue Services, like the Officers of Indian Administrative Services, like Officers of the Indian Economic Services, or obviously of the Indian Police Services. So the said organization has expertise to look into the offences related with related with the financial transaction of the person concerned. Now the question further arises, how the investigation will be rolled out. For that purpose, it is essential that the moment the enforcement directorate comes to the knowledge of commission of any offence of money laundering, he will register it with it, which is normally a complaint given to it by any other person, or if it comes to know through the first information report of the predicate offence that some money laundering has committed, so it can lodge the report with it suo motu as well. Having done so, the investigation would start by the enforcement directorate, and if the enforcement directorate comes to the satisfaction that the property which is identified was created by the money laundering is going to be transferred or going to be or going to be concealed or going to be dealt with in any other manner, then the enforcement directorate immediately may attach the such property. It is not necessary for the enforcement directorate to attach the property when the charge sheet has been submitted in the case of the predicate offence, but prior to filing of the charge sheet of the predicate offence, if the investigating agency, namely enforcement directorate, wants to attach the property, he will have to record the reasons and the satisfactions therefore, and thereafter it will provisionally attach it. After provisionally attaching it, the department concerned will make a complaint to the adjudicating authority regarding the provisional attachment of the property concerned. Adjudicating authority is a authority created by the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, which consists 3 persons, out of which one is made chairperson of the adjudicating authority by the Government of India, and the rest 2 persons continue as a member. It is essential that the members should be having the background of law or financial transaction, and it is also mentioned that the person or the member who does have the legal background must have the qualification to appoint to the post of sessions judge or have been worked on the said post. So the adjudicating authority is also a legal authority, and the persons and the members thereof well versed in the legal arena. The adjudicating authority, having received the complaint regarding the provisional attachment of the concerned property, will adopt a detailed procedure comprising natural justice and fair play, and thereafter, having afforded the opportunity of hearing to the person concerned to whom the property belongs, he can either confirm the attachment or he can set aside the attachment. Both power is with it. The main thing that after confirmation of the property, the property is confiscated and it cannot be released unless until the trial of the money laundering offence is concluded. Now, after completion of the investigation, if the enforcement directorate finds that the offence of money laundering has been committed by some person, then the enforcement directorate will file a complaint before the special court. Special courts are created in the Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002, which is deemed to be sessions court. So the complaint regarding commission of the offence will straightway file to the court, special court, and the special court would take cognizance on that complaint, having looked into the materials filed with the complaint. After the said trial, the special court either would convict the person concerned or will acquit the person concerned. If the person concerned is convicted by the special court, then the property confiscated by the attachment, that confiscation and the attachment will be final, and the property would waste in the Union of India. And if that person is acquitted from the offence of money laundering, then that property would be relieved in the favor of the person who was owner of that property. Now one question more arises at this stage, that if trial of the predicate offence is going in some other case and the special court is dealing with the offence of the money laundering, then what situation will be? Whether the separate trial would go on of the predicate offence, or that trial would be transferred to the court of special court. The legislature has taken care of this situation, and it has been mentioned very specifically in the Prevention of Money Laundering Act that if the trial of the predicate offence is going on in another court, then investigating agency will move an application in the said court to the effect that the special court is trying the offence of the money laundering, so the trial of the money laundering predicate offence be transferred to the court of special court, and the other court would definitely transfer it as per mandate of the statute, that matter to the special court, and the special court will jointly try both the offences, namely predicate offence and the offence of the money laundering. The provision of appeal is also given in the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, whereby it has been mentioned that appeal of the sessions court, special court, would lie to the High Court in regard to the money laundering, and as well as to the predicate offence, because the predicate offence is being tried by the special court, which is deemed to be the session court. I think I have tried my level best to present the money laundering concept in simple manner, and it could be comprehended very easily by the persons belonging to non-legal background. I would welcome your suggestion regarding the deficiency of the deliberation, so that in future I may make good the said deficiency in another deliberations made through some other videos. Thank you. Stay safe.